I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And thank you so much for tuning in once again to another episode of Our Life, Our Journey, Our Truth. And we're so excited to welcome you to 2024. You made it. And we're just so excited about this brand new year. And many of you who have been rolling with us throughout this particular YouTube channel, we've seen so many people connect with us. And it just blesses us to hear your comments. And we want you to make sure you continue to comment because we really do enjoy that. We learn so much from you, and we're able to really craft this platform in a way to be empowering to you.
Right, exactly.
We want you to subscribe, though. It's so important that you right now subscribe. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's take it through the roof in 2024.
Next level.
I'm telling you, let's go there. Let's do it. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button as well. And hey, make sure you get those notifications so you'll always know when this comes up every week. We want to make sure you're locked in, so it's going to be a blessing. You know, 2024 comes with a great deal of optimism. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited to do life with you.
Thank you, honey.
How about it?
Appreciate it.
You know, we're going to talk about something that's so important because I think this whole series in the next couple of weeks, we're going to help you chart a path towards success. And we really want to start out with how do you really set goals? And before we talk about goals, we have to distinguish between New Year's resolutions
and actual goals.
Actual goals.
Right? Because in the beginning of the year, everyone's super excited. They want to make life changes, new year, new you, new life, new goals, et cetera, et cetera. But frequently people get those two things confused in terms of resolutions and goals.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we get frustrated because obviously when the resolution, comes to an end, right? Well, my goals are out of the window. So we really have to be able to delineate between the two. When I resolve to do something, right? I'm really setting a course to say, because I'm making a resolution to be a better person, or I'm making a resolution to take my health, to the next level. That's something I'm resolving to do, and I have a plan to do that. But a goal is more life-oriented. It's really broader in terms of what I hope to accomplish, and a goal involves, vision and other people. And
allows you to get more specific, too. Because frequently we get excited, we set those resolutions, and then after a month or two, they just kind of falter. But when you are actually purposeful in setting a goal, you're able then to visualize it, break it down into its small parts, allow yourself to put it on your schedule, on your calendar, so that it's manageable, so that it's palatable into those bite-sized pieces, so that it becomes more likely that you will then go and achieve it.
Right. So let's start out. Let's start out. And I think it's important in establishing goals. We want to give you some things that I think will be of real help to you. So get out some paper. Let's get it going. Let's do it right now.
He is the master goal setter.
No, I don't know about that. But the first thing I'm going to tell you may surprise you. It really may surprise you. It really is about calendar coordination.
Ooh, yeah.
You cannot set goals without first establishing calendar coordination.
Like, what's your timeline?
What's your timeline? And not only what's your timeline, but make sure you organize your life and find out where the goals will be worked out. Because if your life, for example, is not managed, your days are not managed, you will find yourself in a place of chaos.
Yeah, it just helps you to be more realistic. Like, I want to, grow my business by 10% by X date. Well, these are the steps that it takes, but do you have the time?
When are you going to do it?
And the energy to put into that based on all those other things you have in life? Frequently, people set goals in tunnels, right? With this tunnel vision, not taking into account all the other factors. And if you have a busy life, it does not mean that you cannot achieve your goal. It just means it may take a little bit more time. And guess what? And that's okay.
Yeah, and I think that's important, right? Because that's what really makes those goals, really, I think, attainable because they're realistic. And I think that when you look at the calendar, you go through, we do this all the time. We put on the calendar our personal stuff.
Yes.
And before I put anything with the church, anything with business, I put what we're doing for our family first. And then everything builds out from there.
The core four, because that's what feeds you. That's what centers us, right? And so there's no point in trying to go out and climb Mount Everest if home isn't together, if your life, that's your core, whatever those core values are, whatever that thing that holds you together, that holds you grounded, you got to make sure you take care of that first. And then it's easier, so much easier to work from a place of peace than from a place of chaos.
Yeah, it's like a wheel, right? You think about all the spokes and all the different things you want to do, and the wheel will take you there to get it done. But you also think about that if that screw in the middle is loose, that wheel is going to wobble. And you're like, what's going on? It's because you did not tighten up that core. So calendar coordination deals with like time management, setting those priorities, cleaning up that calendar and finding out what realistically is a time frame for me to accomplish the goal. You got that? So make sure you go through that calendar and stop complaining about, I don't have enough time in the day to do nothing. You got time. You just got time gremlins. You've got to go and move out of the way.
Time gremlins.
So that you can actually create time for the goal to come to pass.
And because he mentioned the time gremlins, we actually do probably like every quarter, like go through our calendar and figure out what, in this current season that we're in, what do we need to push forward and what do we need to give up, right? There's nothing wrong, like one of my mentors told me, and this really, truly helped me, like, don't be afraid to allow your priorities to change in whatever season you're in. What's number 1 this season, number 2 this season, maybe number 7 or 8 next season. And so you should allow yourself to be able to move things around in terms of whatever your goals are, in terms of what you feel like your priority needs to be for that season. You don't have to feel guilty. You can take things off your plate. You can easily put them back on, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So here's number 2. Write it down. You ready? Ready? I think that our goals must be attainable. And I mean that to suggest, listen carefully, you can't boil the ocean.
Right, and Rome wasn't built in a day.
Was not. And sometimes we throw these goals out there, we're so aspirational, I get it. You want to do all these great things. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do that. But see, here's the deal. What that calendar will do is help reset expectations.
Perspective.
And then now that you start saying, what is actually attainable? What can I actually accomplish? So now when I start aligning these goals, this is what I want to do. This is what's realistic. This is what's realistic. That doesn't mean that it's not possible to do more than that, but be honest, because the last thing you want to do, and I want to say this, I want to say it for the people in the back. I want you to hear this. God never gives you an assignment that causes you to burn out. You ever notice when God spoke to Moses, he spoke to him in a bush that was on fire, but the fire did not consume it? Why did God need a bush? Why did God need the theatrics? There's a revelation there. Whenever I give you an assignment, you have a burning for it, but never let it burn you out. The moment you step outside the original assignment and start doing your own things, that's where burnout occurs.
Because you're out of order.
You're out of order. You're taking on this. It's a good thing. Every good thing's not a God thing. So you got to be clear. What is attainable?
Just because you can does not mean that you should.
Right. And so you got to discipline yourself to say, here's what my goals are. Maybe it's 3 things I want to accomplish in 2024. And I want to put those things on my calendar, have a plan. I want to make sure how to lay this out. But when I do that, I've got to be clear that those goals are attainable. Right? All right. So here's number 3. All right. Write it down. Ready? Every goal, watch this now. Every goal must be presented with clarity. Now, we'll talk more about this in part 2 about vision, but I think it's important. When I say clarity, you may say, well, why is that important? Why is a goal important?
And what does clarity mean?
What does clarity mean, right? Your ability to articulate it succinctly helps you facilitate that goal, bringing partners and other people who will help you achieve it. If you're unable to clearly articulate what that goal is, then if you're confused about it, we're confused about it, because you're setting expectations, but your deliverables don't match your expectations because somewhere along the way
it's fuzzy, it's not clear.
It's not clear. So you're not getting what you expected, but you're wondering why I'm not getting what I expected, because I'm not clear about what it is. To write the vision, to make it plain. Write the vision and make it plain. I have learned, I have been advised, I have been mentored that purpose comes with clarity. And you have to be clear. When you look throughout history, you look at high functioning people, they're very clear about this is what I'm trying to accomplish.
Well, and I would even say on a personal note, frequently when you are trying to set your goals for the year, for me, I always pray about it to make sure that my goals are in alignment with where God wants me to be and what He wants me to do in that season. And until I feel that sense of peace, until I sense that clarity, until everything is able to lay out on paper very clearly, succinctly, I don't move on that particular thing, because I feel like exactly what he's saying. Like sometimes we jump ahead of the eight ball of the ball, and then you end up in a worse off situation, or you end up pedaling water when you should be in your breaststroke already. And so I just feel like, for me, wherever you're going, whatever you're trying to do in this season, take God with you. Make sure that you're prayerful about the direction that He wants you to go. And with that, He will give you clarity. With that, He will give you vision.
Yeah. That's so important. And I think that as you maintain that level of spiritual focus this year, make sure that you constantly ask God, what is it that you would like me to do that I can come alongside and join you in it, versus just asking God to come and just bless this. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way, which leads me to number 4. And I think this probably will be one we'll really talk about, right?
Yeah.
And it's really about managing your motive.
Yes.
Why I want to do this? Do I want to do this because I saw somebody else do it? I want to start. So I want to start a YouTube page because Steph and Bishop did one. I want to write a book because that's what so and so did, or that's what is that really?
Or are you trying to prove yourself to someone? Are you trying to prove it to yourself? Are you trying to one up someone? Is this an ego thing? Are you trying to make a comeback? Sometimes something, you might start something and then it slides. Are you trying to make a comeback because you're trying to impress people, or are you trying to make a comeback because it's inside of you? Like, what is it that's inside of you that's driving you? Like, what is your why, right? That why has to come from within. If your why has to do with impressing people on the outside, that thing is not going to last. That even if you do achieve it, like, that's short-term gratification. Like, what is it that's going to keep you going and propelling forward? And it's not coming from a genuine or a good place. So you just have to be very mindful. And frequently, when we ask our mentees or friends that question, why, it's people are taken aback because they're almost offended. Like, you have to be willing to check yourself in terms of exactly what is it in you that makes you want to do this? And you have to be able to self-check. And we've had to do that with ourselves quite a few times as well, in terms of why we're going forward, why we're choosing X, Y, and Z in terms of our next goal, destination, or what have you.
Yeah, and I think it's just important because I think in this world of social media and people are competing, we're out here trying to one up and win and do this. And it's really about, it's never going to be successful if the motive is not right. If your motive is to impress people, or you're trying to, overcompensate for some insecurity, then this is not really the goal for you. It's not. You have to make certain. If you hear what I'm saying, it's gotta be really a God goal.
And I would even argue and push it a little bit further, and some may disagree, but like, sometimes our goals, depending on our life circumstances, are to just make money, right? Like, and I think a part of that clearly is monetizing on whatever you're trying to do. But if that's your sole goal and intent, again, that's a very difficult thing to chase. You can chase it for a while, but at some point it gets tired. Like, what is your why? How can you, in you trying to achieve a financial goal, be transformative to others in that? How can you serve others in achieving whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, but make sure that it's not just about you and sort of filling your pockets? Like, how can you fill other people's souls, other people's pockets, other people's lives?
And there it is. And that's number 5. Here's the candle on the cake. Is that you have to understand that goals, yes, listen, that they will bring the bag. So secure the bag, but don't miss the blessing.
Boom.
secure the bag, but don't miss the blessing. Because what happens is anytime God gives you a goal, the blessing is always bigger than the bag.
Yes.
It is always, if your life is just about the bag, you'll run over people, you'll break relationships, your values, you'll sacrifice your convictions and your
ties into your motive.
Yeah, ties into your motive, right? Which goes back into you. I didn't ask God about it, which goes back
being in alignment,
all the things we just talked. Just go back and rewind.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're saying whatever goals you have, yes, monetize it. Yes, the goal should take you to another level. You need different streams of income. You need to do that. But make sure you go after the blessing first. It is the blessing of God. It is the thing that makes your vision transformational. That I want to be significant. The Bible says herein you will have good success. Not just success, but good success. That I can be blessed, but my life can have value in the lives of other people and causes. And when I am walking in the bag, I'm turning the bag into opportunities for other people to experience the blessing of God upon my life. That's it, guys. That is what we want to lean in on this first part. Now, listen, you need to make sure you tell all your friends as you're whiteboarding, as you're getting ready for this year. We're going to come back even next week because I'm excited about talking about how do you execute it.
Part 2.
Yeah. Now that you got the goals, you got all that, you understood the 5 things we laid out. What's the execution strategy? Like, because some people live in this place of theory, and I'm going to be sharing something from my book, No Opportunity Wasted, The Art of Execution.
And the reality is a lot of people's goals and dreams, we're constantly surrounded by really smart, bright people. But a lot of people's goals and dreams die in execution. You can have the greatest ideas in the world, but if you are not able to put it together to execute that thing, then it just goes to nothing. It goes nowhere. And guess what? Someone else is going to pick up that ball, run with it, and score.
Yeah. So listen, whatever goals you're trying to accomplish, they don't start out there. They start within here. That in your heart, you've been holding them, carrying them. They've been keeping you up at night. This is go time now.
You got this.
This is go time. This is not the time. Wait until months later. This is go time. So you got to get up. You got to clean that calendar up. You got to say, wait a minute, let me create space because I can't ask God to do this if I don't have space to actually accomplish it, right?
Exactly.
I think there's some amazing people out there that's going to do some great things. And this whole success, I hope it blesses you. I hope it's going to be a tremendous blessing to you. So I want you to stay tuned. I believe the best is yet to come. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We want to thank you. Make sure you follow Dr. Steph at drstephwalker on Instagram. Follow me at josephwalker3. Make sure you go to our website and get more information, josephwalker3.org. Get our books, all kinds of things that will be a blessing to you. You need this content in your life, especially No Opportunity Wasted. Everybody should order that because that's going to help you get this year started, guys. So we appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe, because we want you to stay connected right here. So I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Until next time, peace.